Hi guys, it's Ashley. Welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back if you're a subscriber. Today's video is a requested one, and that is going to be my spoiler-free review of Love, Simon. Love, Simon is a coming-of-age rom-com about a high schooler named Simon who is struggling to find a way to come out to his friends and family. Through email correspondence, he meets another boy at his school who is also gay and closeted, and they fall in love, and it is based on the novel Simon versus the Homo sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. And if you've been on my channel, you know that this is my current favorite book and has been for well over a year. So I was very excited to see this movie, and all in all, I enjoyed it so much. The atmosphere that night, because I was lucky enough to have a theater that did the advanced screening last week. Oh my God, it was almost palatable. I hope I'm saying that right, the word right. The energy that was just in the room, and how you could tell that we have been thirsty for so many years. I have waited almost 10 years of my life to see an LGBT plus story on a big screen. And everybody else was too. I mean, at the end of it, the cheers and people crying, and hearing all of these stories of people getting the courage to come out because of this movie. This movie is so important. I didn't want to go off on this tangent, but I saw an article that came out, I think the day before the movie came out nationwide, that was saying that Love, Simon's a good movie, but we don't really need it, or do teens really need this movie right now? And I think from all the stories that I've heard of and saw personally in my movie theater, and just the happiness and joy that of a whole theater of people seeing these two boys, you know, fall in love, it was amazing. Warning, I am not a professional reviewer. That's probably not why you came here. You came here because you saw my reaction video. And I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for all the love, the support, the comments, the likes, the shares, and subscribing to my channel because of that video. It means a lot to me. But overall, I gave Love, Simon a 4 out of 5 stars. I feel one of the major downfalls of this movie was its time. I think that the movie would have benefited from having an extra 50 minutes, like maybe making it a 2-hour movie, because the pacing to me was off. It felt really rushed. There'd be moments when the story was going so smooth, and then out of nowhere, we would hit like a major point in the storyline, and I'd just be like, where did that come from? What happened? Like, I'd be lost even though I was totally focused on the movie. I felt as if I had blinked or looked down at my phone and missed something crucial. So I don't know if, like, it's the editing. I don't know if it's the time constraints with which they had to work in, or if it's a product of bad editing. In my opinion, the relationship between Simon and Leah and Nick did not feel at all flushed out. It didn't feel like these are three kids who have known each other their whole lives. I feel like we barely saw them on screen together. Like, I understand that books can take liberties that movies can't, but in the book, you really got to see how close Simon and Leah and Nick were, and they did things together, they hung out, and I wish that we could have seen more of them hanging out to establish that bond. The only relationship I somewhat believed was Simon and Abby, and that's because Simon and Abby have only known each other for like 6 months. And that to me is still in the beginning stages of a friendship. You're still learning things about each other. So you don't really have to feel a real connection between them. But I think you would hang out more, and I'd be able to tell by seeing your interactions if you were really friends with someone for like 13 years, which I think is what he states in the movie, being that they're only 17. I was not a fan at all of the principal. I think his name is Tony Hale. No disrespect to him. He did have some funny moments throughout the film, but it felt so obvious that his only reason for being in the film was to be a comedic relief. And it really wasn't necessary because we had that in Miss Albright, by the way, which was a brilliant performance in this film. I can't remember the actress's name right now, but I laughed so hard. She really grasped the essence of Miss Albright in the book, and I fell in love with her, probably because of the fact that she herself was a theater teacher for many years in the Bronx, and I think it really showed up well on the screen. But let me get back to the principal. I don't even know his name. I don't even know if they gave him one. Um, I just did not buy into him. I don't know if I had a different experience in school than you guys did. Let me know in the comment section down below. But no principals that I know talk to their students the way the principal in this movie did. Even the ones who try to be cool and have um, relationships with the students so that the students feel comfortable coming to them. I mean, he talked about some pretty inappropriate stuff in his personal relationships and Tinder and all this stuff with Simon, and I just I didn't feel like that at all was realistic. His scenes that he got would take me out of the story, and it really frustrated me that they wasted scenes on him when we could have gotten scenes that people actually wanted. Obviously, I'm not going to say which one I'm thinking about because I don't want to spoil you, if you haven't watched it yet. But I just felt like he was a waste of time, and we could have used those scenes for maybe some more interactions with Simon and Blue or something. It just, I was not a fan. Okay, so now that I've talked about everything I didn't like, let me talk about some things that I loved. First up, the cast. I love that they did not whitewash the cast. Even though the book clearly states like the races of all the characters, I was so nervous because Hollywood has a tendency to whitewash their movies. So I love everybody that got to play the characters. Catherine Langford, she did a good job. But I was really hoping when we got this movie that Abby would have been bigger. I know by Hollywood standards she's probably plus size, but I was did I say Abby? Leah. I was expecting Leah to be bigger. I was expecting her to have, jiggle, 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 and a gut like she does on the front of Leah on the offbeat. And she didn't. But she did a great job. I can't deny her that. She is a quality actress and she bought it. So I can't really be mad, but a part of me was disappointed as a big girl. I'm always looking for my representation on on screens, and that's just my little petty nitpick because the cast was perfect. So I also loved how much of the book they chose to use. A lot of the lines, a lot of the scenes were direct from the book. As far as a um, book to movie adaptation goes, this was perfect. Yeah, I mean, for me, someone who's read it 3 times, like I feel like I was sitting there quoting lines as they said it, and I loved it so much. And I love the way that they chose to keep Blue a mystery because the mystery of who Blue is a big part of Simon Versus. He spends the whole book trying to find out who is Blue. And so I like the way they chose to go about it. Lastly, music plays a big part in Simon's life, and the composition, like the music in this film, the soundtrack is fire. I loved it so much. I think so far my favorite one is, I like Cigarettes and Strawberries, or Strawberries and Cigarettes by Troye Sivan. I also love the pop culture references that they put throughout the film, because it does play a big, pop culture plays a big part in the book. So I love that they kept that. So that is it for my spoiler-free review of Love, Simon. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to, you can follow me on all of my social medias. They will be linked in the description down below. Give the video a like, share it. It helps me so much. And if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can subscribe and hit that bell button so you'll be notified when I upload new content. And as always, until we meet again, bye.